What black market existed in your school? Originally we only had vending machines in the field house. So people would give jocks money to go get them snacks and sodas. Eventually it became sort of like a service. With a fee, of course. Some kids mimicked it with junk food from the convenience stores and it became a black market of the rarest candies. Some kids were peddling stuff from Japan. Others from the UK. It was a high stakes candy market of the best stuff. Ginger flavored Kit Kats. Pear drops. Maltesers. Black currant chews. And more. Eventually the faculty began to notice strange ongoings on and alerted the principal. Which found the whole thing rather amusing. A few weeks later, we had vending machines throughout the school. But for that one semester, it was a lawless land. Were there turf wars? What the duck, Johnny? What are you doing in my side of the building? Is that Pocky? All the other sides of the building were taken, even the third floor. Besides, I was here first. You better get the duck out before I beat your ass. And fighting ensured. A porn ring. Kids would find their dad's VHS pornos or magazines and sell them to this kid. Then he'd turn around and sell it for profit. Funny thing is that when the principal caught wind of it and found all the porn in his locker but the money wasn't there, the kid used the locker under his and hid it all in the bottom. The porn hustler dude is now a cybersecurity analyst. I asked him at our reunion how much he thought he made back then. He claims $900 in 4 months. Ecstasy and burned CDs. My school banned soda. I used to keep a cooler full in my car and sell them for $2 a pop. Drugs, and lots of them. You could get anything from weed to heroin. High school. In my time. Pokemon cards. Now it's apparently Drew Gus. Drugs are less expensive and all-consuming as hobbies go compared to collectible card games. As a Magic the Gathering player I can confirm. Drew Gus would be cheaper. Copy paste from the last time I posted this. TLDR, I invented softcore prose teach-u-chun when I was in kindergarten. I discovered my friend, a girl, didn't have a pen 15. That was the most ducking mind-blowing thing ever. So I invite my male friends to see her. They were even more mind-blown than me. The next day they asked her to see the lack of pen 15 again. But she refused because she wasn't friends with them. So they came to me and offered me some candy and bubble gum to ask her. Obviously I quickly turned this into a business opportunity. And by the end of the day I had more candy than I could carry in my rather large pockets. I don't think there was anybody in that kindergarten that day, boys, who didn't get to enjoy the view of a smooth vag. I gave her a cut to for every client. The principles of fairness and integrity have always been a huge part of my upbringing. The next day parents were called. Little Pornosonic got yelled at a lot. By the principal of the kindergarten. By her parents. By his parents. Candy had been confiscated. Rights of small and medium entrepreneurs meant nothing in that particular institution. Used to sell pot inside dry erase markers. Color coded per price. And nearly undetectable. Dude. I used to do the same thing. You just take the ink tube out and you can fit a few grams in that itch. My parents and teachers always wondered why I was 17 and always had markers on me. Dad found out one day when he realized there were chew marks on the cap, so he chewed it off and found the weeder. Bad day. Selling hot Cheetos and tortoise out of soccer bags. Hot chips were a surefire way to bank for you fundraiser at our school. School groups had stopped selling them for some health nutrition reasons, so a big underground market popped up. Used to do commissions in drawing naked people. In high school. A kid on the wrestling team had parents who constantly went out of town on business. So he drained their swimming pool and would host fight nights with the fights in the pool. It was called Beat That Ass. He facilitated betting and made himself more money than a high school kid should have. He tried to recruit anyone in the school who looked like they could hold their own in a fight. Eventually bands started playing at them and he started burning CDs of each event's music. They were printed and numbered so each one looked like the Now That's What I Call Music CDs. But instead of Now they said BTA. Source, was in a band that was asked to play. We declined. I sold packs of batteries for when people's TI-84/83s were inevitably dead on test day. Well, in college I happened to know all the people that could get me every drug imaginable. Like, forget that, we also had chemical engineering students, one of which got caught making high quality meth to pay his student loans. PPPs, positive participation points. These were little yellow tickets that teachers handed out to students who were participating positively. Every month there would be class-wide and school-wide draws for prizes. The more PPPs you had, the greater your chance of winning was. Didn't take long for kids to copy the template in Word and start selling stacks of PPPs. In 8th grade, 2001, I got a Playboy from my older sister's BF. I cut out the nudes and sold them one at a time to the rest of the guys I knew. A $5 magazine turned into clothes on $50. I didn't get caught, but a few days later another kid tried the same thing with one he stole from his dad's stash. He was caught. School tells his dad. Dad is unusually pissed off about it. Turns out it's dad's favorite issue BC. It was Cindy Crawford in the centerfold. B to Fish Fight Club. We had open campus lunch, so kids would go to the local PetSmart, buy 2 B to fish, sell them to whoever wanted to fight that day, and they would dump the 2 fish in the toilet to fight. B to fish are notoriously known for having to be kept alone because they'll rip the other fish to ducking shreds. The winner would get flushed down the toilet. So glad I never experienced that stuff. Public school in America is weird. Edit. Just want to say I never supported this. It is ducked up. But selling betta fish to fight was a legit black market at my school. Energy drinks. Our high school had an internet filter. An enterprising friend of mine set up a free BSD server in his basement and put together some 256 millibar flash drives with an executable version of Firefox, could run directly from the flash drive without installs, and a SSH client. You could plug it in, connect SSH, then use the server as a proxy for all the Firefox traffic and get around any website you wanted. Those flash drives were a hot commodity. Let me tell you. You could set up in the library and just start casually browsing a banned website, and people would start coming up and asking how you could do it. I studied in a boarding school, and we had a black market for acorns. Yes, acorns. Kids would collect the acorns from the ground, paint and shape them so that they spin like Beyblades. The other kids would buy them to compete in the acorn battle, which is similar to Beyblade. I used to sell bootleg movies in high school. Not the kind of bootleg where you take a video camera into a theater. But I knew someone who kept getting early versions of movies that I guess are sent to theaters. They had some message about it being for screening purposes only, internal use, I don't remember exactly, and giving them to me. I'd burn a bunch of copies and sell them to people for $5. They were high quality and still early in theaters. My mum owned a sweet shop and sweets were banned in our school as we had to be healthy meals and all that. So she'd constantly give me bags of sweets to smuggle in and sell every day at dinner. Made an absolute gom. We had these sherbet straws called pixie sticks, chewing gum, and any trading card. We also had this gambling game that involved getting your coin as close to the wall as possible. Blow pops. No. That's not an autocorrect thing. Blow pops. The candy suckers with gum inside. This was high school. We were kinda sheltered. The cafeteria, not school run. Kind of just a cafe inside the school, would charge $3 for a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So one girl kept the ingredients in her locker and charged $1. When the school caught wind and shut it down, they tried to guilt us all by saying how the cafeteria was someone's livelihood and we were taking away from that. But like, $4 for peanut butter? Fidget spinners. Some people made a lot of money in middle school from selling slime. There was also the obvious vape sellers. But slime interests me more. Bubble gum and chewing gum. It was in middle school. Huge Huge supply for chewing gum. Down the road there was a little cafe that sold those 5 packs of gum for 10 cents. I walked in with a $5 bill and bought as many as I wanted. I sold each stick at 25 cents each and 50 cents for the bread. I made a huge profit. People started getting jealous and I got into a few fights over the amount of gum I was selling. Finally, the school caught on and told the store not to sell gum to students anymore. And thus my days as a gum dealer ended.